Azam, Part 5. My list of those to whom I am deeply grateful is very long, but the very first acknowledgement has to be to Dr. Zedek Zedi. Dr. Zedek Zedi, Editor-in-Chief of Quaid Azam's Papers Project, National Archives of Pakistan. When contracted, he was immediately of great help and remained so, consistently corresponding to his charmingly antiquated manual typewriter. In this age, I wondered of proliferating computers and vastly more efficient printers. Dr. Zedi had instantly offered all assistance and unstingingly, uneasingly he gave it. Thank you very much, Dr. Sahab. You've done a great thing and you are the great source to enable me to write this book. The research for this book involved consulting an intimidating wealth of books, all chronicling that period, all works of great learning, experience, passion, and remarkable merit. The endnotes section lists them, my acknowledgements being but the markers of my obligations. Well, Raghavendra Singh was a marvel of assistant in my endeavors, relentlessly searching out new books, new sources, and references with intrepid ability. He helped me greatly early drafting to that difficult crafting of raw paper into books. Thank you, Raghavendra. This work had threatened, as most such books do, to keep growing, for this subject is immensely demanding. Besides, books do tend to acquire a life and a will of their own. However, the boundaries of this work had to be defined, for in any event, boundaries, territory, limits, all these confining words from the central basis of this work, of those divisions that were thrust on the Indian subcontinent in 1947. The world now calls us South Asia. The writing of this book has been a grave responsibility, and sensitivities are acute and just below the surface of the skin. After all, the partition of India has been defining event of the 20th century for all of us. The wounds that it inflicted have not healed, not yet. That is also why the number of those upon whom I relied and sought advice from would run into several pages. If I detailed all that they gave, so many friends, colleagues, and advisors, they're all examples of selfless assistance, all of them, without exception, in and out of India, cheerfully suffering in the inflictions of having to force read and often disorganized and incomprehensible manuscripts. I was corrected on fact inevitably also with the opinions, often gently, sometimes not so gently, and occasionally with the robust persuasiveness I was also oft times disagreed with, but that after all is inherent in the subject. This work is saturated with emotions. It has to be, for how do you separate what Gandhi termed as vivisection from the pain and the feelings of emotions? Historiographers will doubtless frown upon such an approach, I know. But then I do not write as a cold, linear narrator of events. As a cold, linear narrator of events alone. Of such accounts we are now weary. Well, I'll tell you more about the same. I'll get through the content in my next videos, and I'll explain a few more things over here. In fact, I'll continue with the acknowledgements in my next videos. The acknowledgements are still to go along with it. In fact, pretty long one. I've just started it, and I'll read out the other content of the account as well. And I take it all with great excitement and zeal. That's all for the day.